When was the last time you heard somebody say a bad thing about the Emperor's New Groove?
Oh, I've never heard someone say a bad thing about it, but like compare when you get other like Disney like classic animation films, it doesn't really come up that often.
Oh god. 248.
It's very different from like. I mean, also it came out in a weird time. It was in the middle of a bunch of like not so great Disney movies.
Yeah, sure. Speaking about something completely different, do we want to get to this week's episode of Reflex Save?
Absolutely.
Yeah, mate.
Yeah, hope it's better than the last one.
Well, do you remember what happened in the last one?
Yetis. 7 of them. 7 Yetis.
All rejecting Wodun.
Yeah.
They didn't actually. There's a couple that went for Wodun.
Eventually.
The funny thing that I had the way you just said 7 Yetis made me think of the Luther and 40 Cakes, and that's just terrible.
Oh no, there was 8 Yetis. There was the mega Yeti that came out in.
There was the hidden Yeti.
There was
the hidden 8th Yeti.
The 8th Yeti. But before that Yeti arrived, you did put the final Yeti to sleep and book it back down the mountain. You only realized that there was another bigger Yeti when you looked back at the caves you came from.
His eyes were closed in the snow, so we didn't see him.
But now that leaves you with being down the mountain, probably back on the path where you started in the first place, overlooking the ridge. And you're pretty hurt. I think a couple of you went unconscious in that fight. I know Valine also went unconscious as well. Yeah, I think actually 3 people went unconscious on that fight.
Wodun nearly died.
Yeah, Wodun definitely nearly died.
How is everyone looking after that?
Well, I'm a bit banged up, but I mean, can't speak for you guys. I mean, a couple of you went down. That was pretty rough.
I'm feeling like 20%. A little under.
Okay.
I'm fine. And like blood just dribbles all down his chin.
Oh dear, hold still.
I can offer you healing Carnelian then. I'm assuming you're going to heal Wodun.
Yes.
Tim?
We're probably going to need to find somewhere to sleep.
I was going to inflict wounds on you. Sorry.
Oh, wrong spell!
I'd need some extra salve after that.
I might give you something of the magic variety.
I will cast Healing Word at 3rd level on Carnelian.
What time of the day is it?
It's pretty late, because remember you got here in the afternoon initially.
Oh.
On Ungajuk. And he said that he would come back at the same time tomorrow. You decided then to hit up the shipwreck, and then you ascended the stairs onto the island itself, had a bit of a scout, a bit of a fight. So I'm going to say that it is pretty much on the perpetual dusk.
18 points of healing for you.
And 14 for Carnelian.
Thank you.
What about Valine?
Valine, how are you feeling?
Well, I'm going to use the same parlance that you do, but out of 67, I'm 7.
Oh,
Come here, quickly. Come here, I have something for you.
Valine quickly walks over to Horacio.
Immediately pull out the salve at the top of the bandolier.
I've
here.
heard of this.
Yeah, now you're about to feel this.
Oh, please, be gentle. It's my first time.
Never, yeah.
Well,
Not gonna carry this on, but here you go.
Aww.
as she says that, I'll just go up to her back and then just give her a pat with Healing Word.
Shit.
I don't have to do that. It's vocal, but I'm just going to pat her anyway.
Healing pat.
Healing whisper in the ear.
That is 5 points of healing, minimum.
That's how I thought it was going to be more invigorating, but...
Hey, everyone responds differently to the salve.
10 from Svieta.
10. Oh, I am feeling much better, thank you.
It's a very comforting pour, but my words just are like, heal. That's it.
Ask your cleric if salve is right for you.
Not all wizards approve.
Horacio's salve, but 9 out of 10 clerics agree. Well, I appreciate it. I think someone perhaps saved my life.
We kind of all pitched in, you know.
It was a team effort.
We're a team, Valine. I'm not sure if you are aware of that.
Well, I am honored for that you think that I'm part of your team. Honestly, I was getting the impression that maybe you didn't like me very much.
You're a very highfalutin person, but you're okay.
I mean, that's just my family background. I hope you don't hold that against me, Svieta. I find all of you very capable and interesting individuals. So, if I've done something to offend, I really am sorry.
Well, regardless, I think we should try and find somewhere to just shelter down for the night. I mean, it's starting to get dark.
Yes.
Darker.
Caves out of the question.
Yes, well,
It's
yes.
unfortunate. It would have made a good little central point to rest.
I mean, 6 out of 7 of the caves have been
It's a good point.
Assuming that's all that there was.
And assuming that the other ones don't come for us in our sleep.
Well, they're dead.
Well, there's not all of them.
Well, one is
2
still
from my
alive.
count. There was a big one.
Yeah, what was the big one?
If I was to hazard a guess, I would have say that is probably one of the legendary abominable yetis. Much bigger and much scarier than the normal kind. So I'd hate to think what would have happened if it had have arrived in the middle of our fight.
Just getting flashbacks of the bullet again.
So we back down down the slope a bit further now, away from the caves in the mountain.
So you headed back down the slope on the eastern side of the mountain in the center of the island, and that sort of puts you back on the path that you were initially on, where you sort of hooked around that ridge before you either went up the slopes or down towards these sort of ice structures below you, if you kept following the path.
So you said the island's kind of like it's from the top down, it looks kind of like a snowflake.
Correct.
Which kind of cardinal direction are we on the snowflake?
So if you were to head back the way you came, that would be southeast. If you were to continue further into the into where those ice things are, that's more towards the south.
Okay. And how far, like how high above sea level are we?
You're at least 50 feet plus now another 20, so 70 feet above sea level.
Okay. And how high up is it before the peak sort of disappears into those clouds? Like, is it quite a big trek ahead of us, or?
So the mountains rise another 600 feet at least, from what you can see.
Damn.
It's big.
Is it?
The pathway, when we went up to the caves, did we go off the path, or
Yes.
did the path lead to...
So, to be clear about this particular pathway, it started in the southeastern spur, where the dock was, and led all the way in that spur to where it was getting more central. Before it hit the mountain, it curves away south into that sort of ice field. And then to the northwest of that, the eastern slope of the mountain, there are these caves that you spotted from a ridge that was just off the path. So you left the path to go see those caves, but if you had continued, you'd be going a bit further south. And it looks like that path disappears into like another, onto another spur on the southern end of the mountain. And then it starts to wind its way through to the top of the mountain, into the fog.
But that's the one path.
That's one
the
path.
actual path that we
Yeah,
can
that's
see.
the only path that you can see. Everything else is not paved or
Okay.
anything.
Well, in the absence of anything better, perhaps we could just follow the path again. Check out those structures.
I mean, the structures seem the next best step, considering if we are going to stay here, we definitely don't want to be, like, out in the open where a rock could see us.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Hopefully nothing's living in those structures.
We can probably unalive it if it's hostile.
Well, I mean, how...
We're pretty beat up.
Yes, I was going to say, I'm running low on spells as well. I don't know about all of you.
I have no more wild shapes.
Should we have a short rest before we do that, then?
Maybe just catch our breath on the path where it's more stable.
Could we scout the head somehow with something?
Yeah, I mean, if someone's got something they can send forward, I
I
don't.
do have my familiar, As now,
Oh,
I could potentially send her at least, or send him. Within a mile, I can communicate with him. The way would you like him to scout? I wouldn't want to put him in any direct danger, but he could do a flyover.
Structures to the south, I presume. We'd like to try and find somewhere safe to stay, to spend the night.
see if he detects any movement or anything there.
Okay.
Forgive me, Verlene, are you able to cast spells on your familiar? Was your familiar able to cast spells?
I do have the Find Familiar spell, which would allow me to deliver spells through my familiar in a pinch, yes.
Does that work with things like detect magic?
I don't see why it wouldn't. Typically, it's usually spell delivery, though, like a touch. Let me read the Find Familiar spell.
If you want...
Is it in your books?
Let me just... I'll flip over my book.
For scouting options, I could also summon Chucky and go for an invisible trot. Because if I were to cast invisibility on just myself, it would also affect Chucky.
That's a bad idea.
Yeah, well, I got nothing until we short rest, so I can't help with the invisibility.
And I do have to say that the types of spells you can cast on your familiar have to be delivered at a range of touch. So something like Detect Magic, which is an area, wouldn't quite work. I do like the idea, though. That's just... Magic has not advanced to that point, unfortunately.
That's a shame. You should see medicine. The advancements that they've made. Medical technology recently are quite staggering.
Salve is almost the same as nanotechnology, I've heard.
It's up there.
It's getting there.
Yeah.
Yes, I could send my familiar forward if you wish, or you may go as well on Chucky.
Maybe both. More likely to find something if there is anything there.
Are we worried of the dangers of going somewhere alone on this island, though?
Well, if I was going to be scouting, I would appreciate it if you guys weren't just like a kilometer away, camping, and were actually like not too far behind me.
But that's safer for us to be further away.
Well, we can start slowly making our way there. We just don't want to get too close and attract attention.
How fast can I walk while short resting? That's the question.
I think 0?
I will drag you.
What if I walk really slowly for an hour? I
You
might only get
a whole
few hundred
30
meters.
feet.
I think that
One step
wasn't
every
there
minute.
some kind of magic that was preventing us from receiving healing during rest?
Short rest, yeah.
I mean, but a short rest would bring back
Or other things.
spell slots and Sveta's
Yes.
animal form.
It wouldn't allow us to get more daily spells, and if you can't recover hit points, that is a bit concerning.
No, but we can recover hit points. Just not as many. I do still have
The constitution.
music!
Yeah, it's true.
Are we going to scout?
Up to you.
I think a short rest should be in order. Rather than summoning Chucky, I could use my last third level spell slot on a catnap spell, and grant us all, well, not all of us, but grant some of us a 10-minute short rest rather than an hour short rest. Like in
That might be good. Well, I suppose the owl, Verlene's owl has night vision, so we could... But I guess if you're not going to use the spell for anything else...
Well, it's the same spell that I would use to summon Chucky, so...
Oh.
So it's either the 10-minute short rest or summoning my mount.
Summon the mount. We'll go without the rest. We can take an hour.
Okay.
Chucky, away!
Carnelian will get like a stick, like a little poking stick out of his bag and start like drawing a circle in the snow.
Just the really crudely drawn picture of not a stoat, what is it, a
A
marten?
marten.
And then underneath just Chucky written in the dirt.
No,
With a
it's
love heart at
like
the
I love that.
no, it's my best friend Chucky.
So you're turning invisible with Chucky, and Verlene sends her familiar flying into the air. How far do you want the party to stay back?
Like a couple 100 feet.
Okay.
Enough that if we both decided to run towards each other, it wouldn't take too long. But if but they'd be out of sight mostly.
Okay. So you start heading down the path with the party sort of trailing behind. And you arrive at this now we're talking about the light has fully gone, it's out of dusk, and it's sort of early evening. Through the blowing snow, you see a grand assembly of ice sculptures across a snowy field at the foot of the mountain in the center of the island. Closer examination reveals that the sculptures are completely faithful to their subjects. Bears, elk, saber-toothed tigers, wolves, yeti, remoras, white dragons, and other creatures in the north. No mortal hand could create such wondrous works.
Wait, are these made out of stone?
Well, you'd have to get a bit closer to investigate. If you go on to roll 20...
Oh my goodness, it's a map.
I did make a map.
It's giving me Narnia vibes.
I don't like these spooky-looking jellyfish.
So the spooky jellyfish are just the representation of all the sculptures.
Okay.
Because I didn't want to find a bunch of sculptures and then Photoshop them to have a blue
Yes.
tinge.
A granite filter.
Yeah. No. Well. Okay. So where you're coming from? Basically the northeast at the moment, Carnelian.
Yep.
The rest of the party I've just got on the edge of the map here. So you can see as you enter this field a number of different sculptures ahead. What do you do?
Keep his eyes and ears out, but maybe approach one of the sculptures to see what it's made out of.
Okay, you approach one. Roll an investigation check.
Investigation? Where is my... that's a 16.
16. You approach one of the sculptures that is ahead of you. You can see it's an elk. And it looks like it's made of ice. Like, not clear ice, but sort of snow and ice. Like a snow sculpture, possibly.
Huh.
And you get close to it, and it is incredibly detailed. Almost to the point where you feel like you can see the individual hairs on the elk.
No, I don't like that. Alright. Carnelian will keep an eye out, but keep going south to see if... doing the scouting thing.
So you've got the map there. Do you want to...
Yeah, sure.
What about Lingus? Is that Lingus there?
If you look up overhead, you can see the owls circling above you. For the party, 200 feet or so behind. So I'm going to assume that Valine is kind of logging out at the moment, sort of seeing through the owl's eyes, which means you've got to sort of direct her, like lead her by the hand or something like that. But she's sort of telling you a little bit about what the owl can see, which is that the sculptures of some description, all individual creatures, like lots of different things from as small as, a fox all the way up to a dragon. Looks like that they're sitting there, all dotted among this field. She's not as close as Carnelian, so she doesn't see the exquisite detail, but she can give you those other details.
Valina, you're seeing movement through the owl.
No, I'm not seeing movement anywhere on that field at the moment.
Any potential spots to shelter?
I mean, there's plenty of statues, but it's otherwise an open field. I struggle to think that we would be very well protected. So Carnelian continues to walk, although the familiar can't see him because he's invisible. You are leaving like footprints on the snow, so given that Valine knows what she's looking for, she can probably track your movements a little bit well. And she can see you're moving through a couple different structures. There's a large, it looks like you passed a bear of some description just before, and you're approaching two more medium-sized figures. One looks like a human, maybe, of some description, and the other looks to be a wolf.
So, is the plan to head, to the south and west? What's the exit? What's our intended exit on this map?
Well, I think we were just checking out here to see if there's somewhere we can shelter, right? Or were we looking
Or
for...
was the shelter further beyond here?
No, this is all just an open snowfield. And Valine relays that back to the party. It's just an open field dotted with sculptures, like hundreds of them.
No, but like the structures that we saw before. This isn't.
This is them.
Oh, this is them.
Yes.
Oh, I thought they were going to be like
Houses.
houses.
No,
as
it
in
was hard to tell at
structures.
the distance that you were at. Getting closer, they're statues.
So the main path actually leads through here,
Correct.
and it leads out the other side.
Yes.
We might not have a choice. We might just have to keep going through. Although I can't help feel that, it feels like we've been teleported onto some kind of tactical grid. I mean, maybe there's some potential for fighting, but I don't see another way.
I feel like that's a bit mattery.
Someone should.
What's meta?
Yeah, no, Carnelian is just going to keep like looking through, because if these are the structures and if these are like unrealistically lifelike ice sculptures, then
You start heading further south, and you are approaching another medium-sized sculpture, and it looks like a dwarf.
You hate those guys.
Spencer's not here.
Vaporizes again.
Shit, I forgot.
As you approach closer, something's a little bit off about this statue. Can't quite put your finger on it.
Don't touch it then.
yeah,
What the fuck?
Put your finger on it.
no. If something feels a little off, I guess he'll like have a closer look.
Okay.
Make it up.
So you get another step closer. Don't be shy.
Yeah.
Closer to it, not side to side. Come on, I know what you're trying to do. You approach closer. Roll a nature check.
It's pretty good. That's a 19.
On first inspection, this sculpture looks like a dwarf. And that's what you're sort of expecting. But as you get closer, there's a couple of things that kind of stand out to you. And you realize you've seen them before. Even though the sculptures all are the same color, this doesn't look like a dwarf. This looks like a Durgar.
Huh.
As you approach, you can see it's got pretty much full scale mail armor. And it's got, protruding from the center, looks like a spike of some description from his chest. But if you look at the face, it's not like it's in pain. It just seems to be smiling.
I don't like that. Alright. We're gonna move on and not touch the statue.
You see a couple more statues here. One is a Remoraz, this sort of coiled up creature that's almost like a giant worm. That is, pretty scary, actually.
Is that one of the huge ones? One of the 15 by 15 ones? Or?
Yeah, but it's so tightly coiled up that it's only taking up a large space.
Oh, okay.
And then off to your side, you see another another smallish creature which just looks like a rabbit. It's really weird to see all these different creatures together in the same place.
Do any of the other ones have something protruding from them that shouldn't be there?
Do you want to go back and take a look? You don't see it on these two.
Yeah, we'll go back and have a look at some of the other ones.
Going past, on your left, you can see what looks to be a bear of some description. When you're trying to take a good look, you sort of look under where its chest area is, and you don't see a sort of protrusion. Roll a survival check.
I was just about to ask to survival to see if there's any tracks, but... that's 14.
You don't see any tracks around here. It looks like whatever they were has been frozen in place for long enough that maybe snow has covered any potential tracks. Or maybe they were placed here? Kind of weird. The other thing you notice is that you don't hear any sounds of any other animals at the moment. I mean, this island has been generally pretty quiet of other life because it's mostly been howling wind, but it almost feels like sound has been dampened. Almost like you've walked into an area where, you're walking around and the crunch of what you'd expect Chocky's feet on the snow is also completely absent.
Keep heading south again, and just at least get to the end of the snowfields. So back past statues. So if there's a path, does the path go like?
It's not represented on this map because this isn't for the actual thing, but it basically curves right through the middle here from, I'm going to say, northeast to southwest.
Okay, well in that case, we'll say he's actually heading more like, he's not going to the south to where those ridges are, he's going over to the west just to...
That giant statue you can see to your south looks to be some kind of dragon.
Yeah, so he'll get to like the edge of this path here, and then if he gets there and then nothing's amiss, he's just going to turn around and start heading back.
You don't see anything amiss at the moment, and you are getting to the end of the sculpture field. So you head back to the party?
Yeah.
Alright. So for everyone else, Valine was kind of tracking the footsteps in the snow and gave you a bit of an overview of where Carnelian roughly went, where she could guess. And also she told you that, like, you know, she has had a familiar go a little bit lower, and yeah, there's a lot of different sculptures, different creatures, different, like, animals or figures. It's not like there's just one type, and it's a little bit unnerving to even her senses in the owl make her feel a little bit unnerved.
Hey, Valine.
Yes.
Can you get your owl to see if it can notice any movement? In particular, when Carnelian goes near these statues and walks away from them, is there any movement?
I'll take a look. No, I don't see any movement. I don't see any movement for a long while. Nowhere in this field is anything moving. And you can also feel the wind kind of blowing around you. Like if there's a little bit of wind that's whipping down from the mountain, for example, and it always reminds you of just how cold this place is. Valine, like, shivers a little and says, even the wind seems to stop when it gets there.
Well, I definitely don't like it down there, but I think we need rest, and I think we should find somewhere out of the wind that's not down there, because it doesn't sound like there's anywhere for us. If anything, it's just a trap or a graveyard or some weird cemetery or something.
I'm going to say at this point, Carnelian, you arrive back at the party.
Yep. He will use his telepathic helm to announce his presence as to avoid startling people.
Do you have the helm?
Nope.
He does.
Carnelian, it was given to Carnelian a couple of episodes ago.
Yeah, so you can relay everything that you saw.
Yeah, it's... I don't like it. The statues are, like, really, really intrinsic and complicated, and there's no way someone would, like, take the time to manually, like, sculpt all of that out of ice. So magic has to be involved somehow.
Were they all facing the same way?
Good question, were they?
Not that you could see.
No.
They just seem to be frozen in different poses, almost.
Did any of them look pained or injured in any way?
I only saw a couple of humanoids, and neither of them looked like scared or in pain or anything.
Yeah, hard to tell for the animals, but at least for the Duragar or the human that you saw. The Duragar that you saw was smiling. The human that you saw almost looked surprised.
What was the human doing? What pose was it in?
Looked like he was frozen sort of mid-walk, like turned to his left.
Does it look like perhaps he was frozen very suddenly, do you think?
I mean, if it was a human that was turned into ice, it would have had to have been very sudden.
I feel like we should avoid going through there if we're not invisible. It's given me the creeps.
I agree. I am thoroughly creeped out by this place. But, like, what are our other options here? Can we go around it?
Yeah, you could take time off the... You'd have to go off the path. And just... It's a very large field, so you'd just be skirting quite a long way.
I would rather skirt around.
I think you mentioned last time they were like down the hill from us. So
Yes.
if we go back the other way, we're heading back up the mountain?
Yeah, so it's not up the mountain, but it's like up into the ridge or spur that you came from.
Maybe we should take shelter against the ridge, out of the wind.
Back where we were,
Yeah,
heading back.
far enough from the Yetis, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, from where we are, can we see beyond the field and anything else that may be around? Just trying to weigh out whether it's worth pushing on or trying to go back to somewhere we know.
I mean, we could just go back to the harbour. That was fairly sheltered.
Yeah.
The path continues onto the southern spur of the mountain and then leads upwards. The spurs sort of lead off, stretching out into the sea. You know, north, south, east, west, northwest, northeast, southeast, southwest. And from what you can see, it's hard to see the rest of the island from there. You'd need to keep exploring. But from your vantage point when you were back up on the ridge, I mean, you saw the other spurs that lead down out off the mountain. And you can only assume that between the spurs are more similar. You know, there might be other locations that have other things.
Maybe you're right, Wodun. Maybe it's worth going back. Well, going back to the harbour. Carnelian, sorry. We just maybe get a full day of exploration in tomorrow. Last thing we want is to be out in the open and be exposed to the rock.
Yeah, exactly.
So you guys are heading back down to the harbour?
Yeah.
We can check and see if that ice method is still there.
Oh yeah, little guard, gatekeeper, bridge keeper.
Alright, so you head back along the path, climbing back onto the southeastern spur. Hooking around the ridge, you take a quick glance up at the caves. You don't see any Yetis, although you didn't see any Yetis in the first place. But now that place has a strange foreboding for you. You continue to head southeast along the spur until you get to the top of the stairs that would lead down into the harbour. Are you doing anything special as you approach the stairs?
Mm-hmm.
Is the little method keeper there?
Roll a perception check, because I would assume you haven't gotten too close then yet.
Not yet. 7 plus a bit. 10.
Anyone else?
Yeah, alright.
I'm probably taking up the rear side and see.
Okay.
Oh. 2 plus 2.
10.
10. Okay. So the best out of that was 10, from what I could see. You don't see it.
Okay. Okay. Well, keep going, I guess.
You head to the stairs. As you get to the stairs, you are passing by what looks to be the little flat rock that the method was on, and a little head pops up from behind the rock and starts yelling at you. And then lifting into the air on 2 little bat wings, little method starts flying and then hovering at your party, and it starts talking to you.
Can I grab one of its wings with a mage hand?
Sure. Roll it to hit.
Does anybody understand it?
We didn't get a short rest during that time, did we?
No.
What kind of to hit?
Just your normal, like,
Unarmed?
unarmed. Yeah.
Okay. 19.
19. Okay, so your mage hand appears and just grabs the 2 wings, like pinches them, so they stop, and he just goes,
How big is this?
it's tiny. I think it's only like... it's very... It's small, but that... I think it's like maybe a foot tall, like maybe even less than that. It's quite small.
Definitely more than 10 pounds, so it would probably fall to the ground.
Well, it just seems to be like, you just seem to be holding it by its wings up. And it's just sort of, it's like, you know when you sort of pick, like in those cartoons where someone picks up a small thing by the back of the shirt, and it's like limbs are flying everywhere?
Oh, yeah.
It's doing that and going...
We don't speak this language, right?
What languages do you speak?
Does it have a language? Can I detect thoughts it?
Yeah, you can.
I will.
How does the detect thoughts work?
For the duration, you can read the thoughts of certain creatures. When you cast the spell and as an action on each of your turns until it ends, you can focus your mind on any creature within 30 feet. The creature has an intelligence of 3 or doesn't speak any languages, is unaffected. So I learn surface thoughts of the creature.
For the talking to it, do you need to know the same language?
As long as it's a viable target for detect thoughts, I can send it telepathic messages and it can reply.
And it understands?
As long as it has an intelligence of 3 or higher and has a language.
Sounds good to me. Okay. So you start casting detect thoughts on it.
Yep.
And the surface thoughts you get are that of surprise. Like anger, but not... More like surprise anger, like, hey, what the hell's going on type deal. And then you're going to talk to it. So what do you say?
Who are you? And, what's going on here?
Hey, put me down!
Svieta, it's asking you to put it down.
That's not my hand, I can't put it down.
That's a lie.
No? I'm not going to put it down.
It'd be easier to talk to it if you put it down.
No.
Oh, come on, it's mean! It's so mean!
Can you understand us?
I can understand you. I can understand you now. Come on. What's the deal?
Are you gonna, like, fly away and if we let you go?
I mean, I'm going to keep flying, but, like...
Are you gonna, like, run away and tell people that we're here?
Well, it wasn't my intention to. I wasn't initially going to. I was just bored. And then I saw you guys coming.
Do you live here?
Yeah.
Do you know the island well?
Yeah?
Is it lying to me?
Roll an insight check.
Do I get any sort of bonus for being able to sense its surface thoughts?
Roll with advantage.
Nice.
Good thing.
20. Dirty 20.
Doesn't appear to be lying. As far as you can tell, it lives here and knows the area.
So he lives here, and he was just surprised to see us. He wasn't, like, gonna run off and warn any of his friends.
Is he going to now that I grabbed him?
No, he just wants to be let go.
Does he have any friends?
Do you have any friends?
Not for a while.
And
Huh.
he definitely said he's not going to go tell his friends.
Do you have a name?
Or fly.
My name is Carnelian.
Oh, well, I mean, my name is Supper.
Soppo.
Sop.
Soppo.
Supper.
With a Z?
No, with an S.
What?
S-O-O?
It has an umlaut in there, so I don't know how to pronounce it.
Ooh, tricky.
You are saying some really weird shit at the moment, Carnelian.
That's how it's pronounced. That's how it's said. I don't know how to pronounce the umlaut. Super?
Super.
How do you pronounce that?
O with an umlaut.
Super. I think it's like
You need to form your lips as in O
Super.
first. And then
Super.
imagine someone is pulling on your lips.
Super.
Super. Yeah.
Super. My name is Super. I don't know why they put an umlaut in this damn name. But it's here now, and we're here to stay.
Super. His name is Super, and he apparently does not have any friends. I am inclined to believe him when he makes this claim.
Well, that's just rude.
Oh, no, well, I'm saying that out loud, not telepathically.
Part of it bled over into telepathy, to be honest.
Why is he here? What's his purpose?
He lives here.
Where?
Here.
Like just on the ground here, or?
I assume wherever here. I don't know. I assume the island. The island is his home.
Why don't you ask him specifics?
Do you when you say you live here? Do you mean you live here at the dock? Do you live here on the island? Do you live here?
Do you have a spare room? you have anything warm to eat?
Well, I can't say that ice methods have a particular concept of property ownership, so I just live somewhere on the islands. Just wherever I feel like sleeping. And I just sleeping on this rock.
We're looking for somewhere that has, like, shelter above us. Do you know anywhere like that? Preferably that doesn't have Yetis living in it.
Oh, I was going to say, well, there's definitely some caves to the east of here. I can tell you that.
Not anymore. Is he an agent of Auril or anything like that? Is he going to alert her to our presence?
Well, I asked him if he was going to run off and warn his friends, but I guess he doesn't have any friends. But his thoughts have given no indication so far that he is going to, like, run off and tell everybody that we're here.
I mean, you guys seem interesting.
Yeah.
You're going to be hanging around.
But how did he end up here?
That's a good question. Have you always been here?
Pretty much. It's like, this is just, sometimes when a man method and a female method, they like each other very much, then sometimes, maybe I shouldn't explain this.
I didn't realize elementals reproduced like that.
We sort of also produced by osmosis, but I'm not even going to go into that either.
Does he know anything about the ice zoo that we just saw?
Do you know what's up with those, like, ice sculptures that are, like,
Oh,
west of here?
You've seen the Frost Maiden's sculptures. Yeah, she has them all throughout the island.
Auril put them there.
Yeah, I guess.
Are you a fan of Auril?
I mean, she doesn't charge rent. I'm not a fan.
So
I'm
you're
not
like
a fan. I'm just me.
You're just neutral to Auril?
Yeah, I mean, she doesn't bother me.
He's Auril neutral. He just lives here.
Right. And the sculptures?
Auril put them there.
Why?
I assume to be spooky.
Ask him specifics. You literally can just ask him rather than the Shum.
Well, you're asking me questions.
I can't talk to him. You took my hat.
You gave it to me.
I gave you my hat.
Thank you.
Ask him for me.
Can I be put down?
No.
Please?
Please put him down. He might be more cooperative. And if he tries to run away, we'll just get him.
My wings are pinching. Ah! She's got a vice grip on her.
Okay, I'll let him go. But I'll give him like
Oh!
I give him like a pat down his back, like in a really creepy way.
Oh! Just let me pop my shot. Oh!
Do you know why?
Oh, that wing will never be the same. Oh!
Do you know why she puts the statues there?
Something about they're beautiful. I guess. Have you seen them up close? They're really detailed.
I did. They wouldn't happen to be like people that were transformed into ice, would they?
I have no idea. All I know is that they're very detailed. She puts them there because she likes things frozen in ice. I think that was. Mum said that she wanted things preserved forever.
She likes to preserve things in ice forever.
I think that's why she's doing the whole thing.
And the method says that she might be trying to do that to the Dale with the Aurora.
Something about beauty captured forever.
Those sculptures that you saw, were any of them of the same species twice? Like two bears or two dolls or anything like that?
There were 2 deers, if I remember correctly.
I mean, you didn't see every single one of the sculptures. There were so many of them. It's conceivable that there were duplicates.
I recall you saying 2 deers, but...
Sure.
Oh, I was just thinking maybe they're like the sacrifices, but if there's animals there, then it's probably not.
There's like a dragon, bears, remoras.
Are they actual creatures encased in ice, or are they just ice that are very lifelike?
It's ice that is very lifelike.
So you could see through it.
They were like...
You couldn't see through the ice.
Yeah, it was like cloudy, so it's not like fully transparent.
Perhaps a form of petrification.
That was actually my thoughts.
I had them first. I said them first, so they're my thoughts.
Nice thoughts, Sveta.
Thank you, Wodun.
I like
No,
those.
I can
I wish
detect
I
your.
could hear this.
I can detect your thoughts. So
Meow, 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 meow.
Oh god! The revenge.
sorry, it's like I'm having to do the whole interpretation thing because I'm wearing a slug on my hat.
We could all connect to this network and...
Yeah.
Could we?
Do you have the
Yes.
Wi-Fi password?
Yeah, all right. We'll get him in on the Wi-Fi.
Okay.
Hey guys, what's up?
Hello.
You have a really strong grip. Ow!
It wasn't even my grip. It was 10 pounds of pressure. You need to get
Oh,
You could kill a man with 10 pounds of force in the right place.
you could probably charge for that.
Really?
Never mind. Whew, is it getting warm in here, or is it just me?
Did you say your name was Supo?
Supo, yes.
I
I have discovered that that's how you pronounce that name, yes.
Good. I'm glad you've learnt.
What's your names? I haven't heard your names. You guys have, like, put me under the interrogation spotlight. You haven't told me anything about yourselves.
My name's Wodun,
Oh, Wodun.
with an umlaut.
Good umlaut name, yes. Very Swedish. Whatever that means. What's your name?
I'm Horacio.
Horacio. Wodun and Horacio.
This is Sveta.
I don't have an umlaut.
Oh, can I give you? I can give you one.
Where would you put it?
I think you can go over the E. Svieta.
No, sure.
I think that's how it's said.
Oh god, someone asked him a question.
What's your name?
Carnelian, I already told you.
Oh. No umlaut?
I mean, not usually.
Little
My-
sir.
My name is Vili. Ah!
Oh shit. I forgot you were there too.
Holy crap, you came out of nowhere!
So rude.
It really does. It just springs up
Put
on
a
you.
bell on you! Jesus!
I guess the most important question is shelter.
Well, I was gonna suggest the caves, but, it's probably not a good idea by the sounds of it. There's, like, at the top of the mountain, there's, like, this fortress thing.
The top of the mountain.
The top of the mountain.
I assume that's occupied.
I think so, yes. There's also, like, a shit ton of shipwrecks around the island. I don't know if you've seen any of them, but they could be shelter, I guess.
Sometimes they're
seen
full of
one.
crabs.
Oh, I imagine they could be full of crabs, yeah. You guys look like you could handle a couple crabs.
Are there any other humanoids like us on the island that you've seen? Specifically one that can change shape.
I have seen some people on the island recently. The last couple of weeks, there's some people that came through. They didn't really want to talk to me, though, which is a little bit sad, because I followed them for a little bit.
Can you describe them?
Well, there was a guy, he looks a lot like you, and she points to Wodun and Horatio. This, like, pretty tall guy, he had, like, muscles, he didn't have a shirt, he didn't seem bothered by the cold, he had these, like, little cold tufts of fur, and he was kind of a creepy dude. And there was, like, this little, like, your size, like, bigger than me, so big, but not big, if that makes sense. About your size kind of thing. Like, got this sort of, like, longish nose, green skin, with pointed ears. I don't know what they are.
A goblin?
If you say so, I guess. He, like, had this really stoic look on his face, and he had a couple swords.
Oh no.
What?
When you say, like, there wouldn't happen to be, like, a Verbeeg as well, would there?
What was a Verbeeg?
Like a really big guy. Or
I mean-
girl.
There's big things. I haven't seen anything lately, though.
Oh.
Anyone else in the party, or was it just three?
Well, I didn't see them all together, but there was, like... I saw this guy walking around, like, he looked lost, like he hadn't been here before. He was, like, wearing... like you guys have all these packs and stuff, so it's kind of like that. He has, like, a backpack, and he has, like, a bedroll, and he has all these, like, tools and stuff like that, but he sort of, like, came in from the other side of the mountain, and he looked really surprised to be here. And, I don't know, there's, like, also a couple of, like, short fellas, and, I don't know, otherwise it's just animals, I guess. but why? You guys seem really intent.
Did he have blue hair?
Who?
The medium man.
Blue hair? No.
Okay.
He had white hair.
Did he look like a serial killer? You know, they have a look about
They
them.
do have that look, don't they? Quite handsome.
You can definitely profile serial killers based on their appearance.
It's all
Absolutely.
in the nose, I've heard. If you look at them side on, a serial killer's nose comes down like this.
I was not going to say their eyes, but their nose as well, I suppose.
They're really close together, like beady eyes.
Is that a yes or a no?
I don't know what a serial killer looks like, to be honest. I didn't have my Calliopas.
Your what?
Calliopas? I think that's how you say it.
Calipers?
That's the one!
What's that?
Racists use them to measure the shape of the skull.
Oh my goodness. Are you racist?
I mean, last time I checked. What's racist?
I just want a place to sleep. Shall we just go back onto the ship?
Yes, I think so.
Do we still have water walking?
I'll tell you in a second.
Can I come?
I don't see why not.
Sweet!
We do.
New
It's
digs.
oh no, that's water breathing.
If I remember correctly, water walking is a ritual.
It's
so-
10 minutes, but it's a ritual. So
Sick.
that's wall of water. I don't even know what I'm looking at.
Wall of water. Just gonna block somebody with some water.
Ride the wave, man.
It's only for an hour, so I'll just recast it. It's still rituals, so.
Yeah.
Before we go, I just wanted to ask you one more thing. Supo.
Super. Yes,
This-
Horacio.
I'm a bit intrigued about this goblin, this stoic-looking goblin.
Yeah, he wasn't very much fun. He didn't really talk to me.
Did he happen to give you his name by any chance?
No, he didn't.
Sorry, the reason I'm asking is because I just had a thought. Maybe is Izubai,
That one
the
goblin.
goblin swordsman, the master swordsman.
The one that we didn't feed to a bear.
Oh yeah.
I'm just wondering, based on maybe question for Callan, based on the description that he gives, is it possible to deduce that this might be Izubai?
Is that what I called it?
Leader Izubai fled. Yeah, Goblin Master Swordsman also. No, that was the leader. Sorry, the Goblin Master Swordsman also fled.
It doesn't
No,
say
right.
didn't have his name.
Possible boss.
I didn't give him a name.
No,
right?
he didn't.
Okay,
Sorry, Master Swordsman.
cool. Well, I mean, he had swords. He had two of them. And one really big, long one that's sort of a little bit curved and has a sharp point in one end.
Oh,
And he had a smaller version of the same sword on top of it.
I think we stole one of the wanted posters for Jask as well. I think we just took it and we're just trying to compare two of them, and they look vaguely the same but not really. I'm pretty sure we still have one of those. Can I show him a picture of potential Jask from some weirdo's rendition of what he might look like?
Yeah. So you pull out the poster that you have of Jask and you show it to Supo, and he looks at it and he goes, nope, doesn't ring a bell.
Didn't Jask have one of those tadpoles in him? Wasn't he gonna turn into a, what do they call it?
Nautiloid.
A cephaloform?
Ceramorph?
Ceramorph.
Probably.
So wouldn't we want to do this at this point? Wouldn't we be describing a purple or blue man with tentacle face?
Well, to be honest, Carnelian, I don't know the gestation period of the little tadpole thing. So he could potentially still be a human, or he could be...
More time than from when you met me to when we found the crashed spaceship.
Did he have a weird face?
Weird how?
Like a little octopus on his face.
Oh, Squidface McGee. Yeah, he's around here somewhere.
Really?
Yeah, there's a squid dude around here somewhere.
A squid dude.
This is a squid dude. It's fucking weird.
I found him.
He walked around, he was on
Yeah, that... Excellent.
serial killer eyes if I've ever seen it.
Wait, you just said you didn't know what a serial killer looked like.
Yeah, but he has,
He's got squid for face.
Squid face. Squid for face.
Okay.
Why does it seem like a collection of people that we've wronged or
Surely not.
have been, like, turning up onto this island specifically.
It's almost like the DM planned for this to happen.
Did you have a question for me, Andrew?
Sup,
I don't think so,
Horatio?
no.
Okay.
No. Wodun.
No, I don't think I did.
Oh, you guys seem to know more about the island than I do. I was going to show you around a bit, but
I would actually really like if you could guide us around the island. That'd be sweet.
sure.
What are your drawing capabilities like?
0 to none.
Okay.
I am made of ice.
And I would definitely like it if you, like, stayed within our line of sight at all times. But
Sure.
You don't have to fight or anything. You can just observe. Just make sure you don't
That
go
sounds-
anywhere that we can't see.
That sounds perfect. I get to do nothing but watch you guys. Amazing. I wonder if I can just eat some ice popcorn.
Do you eat ice?
Yeah. What else do you see around here?
Okay, that's fair.
Is that like eating yourself?
There's a little bit of cannibalism involved, yes. We don't usually talk about it that way, though. That's a bit rude.
I mean, I imagine if a human was stuck on this island, they would probably resort to cannibalism.
Horatio, would you do that? You are human.
No, I wouldn't. Although I don't want to find out if I would. Put it that way.
You ever had ice popcorn? It's beautiful.
So you're
Great to watch.
describing yourself as delicious.
Let's not continue this line of inquiry.
Let's not. I think we need to rest.
Alright, we're gonna head to one of those boats.
Well, let's go to the boat that we know is safe.
Yeah, the
with-
one with no hags on it.
Well, it's got Otto and Dogcliff on it.
It does.
It does.
Oh, well, we just got here.
So you start descending the stairs. And all the while, Supo is just sort of like flittering above your heads. And he seems relatively happy chatting away, like just whenever anyone just lets him sit there and talk over the Wi-Fi network. He's talking in gibberish that comes out of his mouth, but you can sort of understand thanks to the wonders of the telepathic helm. And you eventually get down to the dock, cast water walking,
Yep.
and walk out to the boat, where an excited Otto and Dogcliff are ready to meet you. You get climbed up there, like with a combination of
We go and get
ropes
climbed up.
and however else you get up there. You got plenty of time. And you greet Otto and Dogcliff on the boat.
Firm handshake.
Firm handshake, direct eye contact. You're hired.
Dogcliff? Shake.
And so what are you doing? How are you bedding down for the night?
Well, Svieta can take first watch because I am the healthiest.
I would advise not taking your watch somewhere that's, like, on the deck. If you can, like, set up in a cabin.
I assume the captain's quarters, like at the very
Yeah.
top.
Something like that, that has a roof over you. Just minimize chances of being spotted by an enormous bird.
So you could go under the decks.
I was going to sleep under the decks.
I reckon, yeah, just down where the hag's cauldron and everything was inside.
Even if I have to spend like an hour prestidigitating part of it to be clean.
Yeah, it's very haggy down here.
Yeah.
So you spend some time cleaning up a bit, getting the slime sloshed away, and, you know,
Hag juice.
hag juices, just, you know, sweeping the decks, the blood as well of the hags. Head underneath. You're not starting a fire, I imagine, at this stage.
Not unless we need it. Is there like a brazier or something that you could on the ship that you could? What was the
That
cauldron
cauldron.
sitting over?
There's a cauldron.
Uh,
Could put it in the cauldron and then the cauldron would radiate heat.
Putting.
Oh yeah.
That's a good idea.
Pot stove. Well,
Yeah.
What are those things called? Pot. I don't know.
I like the idea though.
So you throw a bunch of wood in the cauldron, light it up.
And then let that like create warmth.
Yeah, you're going to have to crack open several windows because the smoke otherwise has nowhere to go. And it sort of fills the room with a bit of a haze as you bed down for the night. Svieta, you're on first watch.
Yep.
Where are you sitting?
So the stairs that go down
Mhm.
to the hull just at the top of the stairs, so I can see out the door to
Yeah.
this night sky.
So you're sort of sitting in the doorway that leads out onto the deck.
Yeah.
So the night falls darker and darker to the point where you can no longer see the shore of the island 200 feet away. The seas are rough and you can hear the edges of it lapping against the boat, but you don't see anything through your watch. Who do you wake up?
Who wants to be next?
I'll go.
I'll wake up Horatio by shaking his shoulder a little bit. Time for a watch.
Oh, yes.
Good luck.
Thanks, I guess.
It's ominous.
Sleep well. Might do a bit of praying. Where did you do your watch, by the way, Svieta?
Oh, just at the top of the stairs.
Okay, I'll do the same.
So you're looking out and you can see from the deck, yeah, you can't even see the island at the moment from where you are. Sveta goes to sleep.
Yep, on where Horatio was, because it's warm.
Near the cauldron.
That's alright.
Hey, that's my spot. And Horatio, you begin your watch. Roll a perception check.
He's rolled for something to show. Now I've got to roll to see if I see it. I definitely do not. Natural 1. Just lost in prayer, you know.
Yeah, it's hard to keep focus on Kalemvor and watching out for dangers at the same time. So you've chosen to focus instead on
Chosen
Kalemvor.
Kalemvor, as I tend to.
Your faith will keep you safe. That's what they say, right?
My faith is a shield. My faith is a shield. Keeping watch is overrated. My faith is a shield.
Have you prep shield of faith by any chance?
No. Power of prayer is all I need.
So you sit out for watch. You don't notice anything untowards, and it gets to the end of your shift. Who do you wake?
Well, who wants to be woken?
Carnelian will do the next.
Psst. Carnelian,
What's up?
you're up.
Alright.
Watch.
You see anything?
No, but I wasn't watching the whole time, so just keep your eyes open.
I fell asleep.
I lost myself for a bit. I don't know how long. That's the whole thing. When
Well-
you lose yourself, you lose track of time.
You tried.
I did. Well, I didn't. Anyway, time to swap, I guess. Good luck.
Where are you going to watch from?
Same place.
Okay. About 2/3 of your way through the watch, you're looking out. Again, it's completely dark, so you can't see the island. But at an expected time, you see a bright aurora start spreading across the sky to the south of where you are, over the dale, away from the sea of moving ice. It's time for the nightly ritual. It means Aurel's not here right now, but you don't know if that's better or worse. You keep hunkered down for the next hour or so as the lights play in the sky, and your watch is over.
Wodun!
What? What? Watch time?
Yeah, your turn.
Right, top of the stairs.
Top of the stairs.
Cool. Sleep well.
I'm going to.
Wodun begins his watch in the purplish green light that is spread across the sky, and you start watching for hours as well. You don't know how long it takes Aurel to complete her ritual, if she stays out there for the full time with the aurora, or if she's already back. It's dark and you haven't been able to spot anything. Roll a perception check.
11.
As the end of your watch is happening, the light starts to give to perpetual dawn. What you can see on the edge of the island is a mist that must have formed sometime during the night and it's starting to roll off of the high cliff shelves into the water below. You don't know how long that's going to hang around for, but at the moment it makes the island a little bit obscured.
Wodun's gonna walk over to the edge of the ship and, stretch and look at the cascading mists, because they look quite nice.
Indeed, they are beautiful. I mean, say what you will about Aurel's philosophy, but there's something beautiful in that everything is so still and frozen in a moment in time. Those slow rolling mists off the island seem to lend it to this almost everlasting sort of feel, like nothing would ever change there. Eventually, though, the morning does break, and the mist is still hanging on the edges of the island, making it difficult to see above the cliffs. You wake up the rest of your companions, and you can all check a long rest off on your sheet. It does appear that you were able to rest and get your hit points back, but the night, even next to the fire, was cold to the bone. Waking up with you is Super. Whoa, I could have used that rest. I just get my neck. Oh, not too far. What are you guys doing today?
It's going back to the island.
Sweet.
We're looking for some stuff.
Cool. What you looking for?
Fairy book.
Harry book.
He nods sagely as if he knows how at all you're talking about.
Do you know any, like, other than the fortress, any, like, buildings on the island?
There's not much in the way of buildings on the island. There are a couple of different locations, I guess, that could be kind of interesting. There's a few of those different sculpture fields around the place, like all dotted around the island. There was this one place on the opposite side of the island was the last ship that shipwrecked on the island here. On like the northwestern arm, whatever northwest means. And I remember, like, there was someone that tried to pull themselves out of the wreckage, so I guess it's kind of interesting since it's more recent. Maybe there'd be something there. Caves you guys know about. And, I mean, there's also this sort of, like, I don't know, ring ice wall on the other side of the island as well, which also has other sculptures, but it's, like, ringed as if she's got her special ones there. But, like, otherwise you'd have to go to the middle of the island, potentially. I mean, yeah, I guess that's mostly what's around the island itself, and all the different shipwrecks, and yeah.
What about any sluice gates? Sloop gates?
I don't know what the word sluice means.
I don't either.
So, we're like two peas in a pod, you and I.
Oh, it sounded so evil. I mean, it's like a gate that goes up with the crank.
Not that I've seen.
Okay, never mind.
What's it used for?
Sluicing.
It lets water in and out to control water levels in a canal.
Oh, that's probably why I haven't seen one. Not a lot of water on the island.
What about other access points to the fortress? Are you aware of any?
Not that I'm aware of. You just go up the road, say sup.
Have you ever been in time?
A couple times. But I don't really make a habit of it.
Who let you in?
I mean, he can fly.
I can fly.
I'm sure Oriel just doesn't let any willy-nilly creature from the outside into her castle.
Hey, you saw what happened to, well,
Me?
you.
I mean, I haven't had a problem necessarily getting inside. The doors are really big.
Do people come in and out often?
No, not really.
Do you go in through the door or do you fly in some other way?
I mean, if the door's open, I just wander through. Yeah,
Oh,
Sweet.
it's okay.
When's the best time to get in the door?
when it's open.
Does she leave the door open? Well, when you've been there, has she been there as well? Oriel.
I have seen her one time.
Do you know her schedule? When's our best chance to
What's she look
leave
like?
her a surprise gift?
She looks like different things from what I've heard. Some people describe her as this, like, beautiful, tall, humanish woman with, like, blue skin, like it's made of ice. And I've also seen her look like some big, feathered creature with a flat face and big eyes. I heard someone describe her once as just a ball of like, cold and snow, sort of like me, actually, which I sort of identify most with. If you're asking for personal identification of deities, that's the one that I would potentially identify most with. At midnight, she's not here. That's all I know. Otherwise, she doesn't really keep a schedule.
Right. So when you've been, you've sometimes been at midnight.
I mean, once or twice, yeah.
How many birds does she have?
Oh, she got a big one.
Just one.
One big bird. Like, serious. It's unbelievable how big it is.
Oh, I believe it.
Oh no, you wouldn't believe it.
Okay.
I'm telling you, it's big.
Well,
It lives like at the top of the mountain. The very, very top. And he's just like gesturing with his hands, trying to like make the shape of a circle. It's like this sort of like crown, I guess, spiky things. all around
Carnelian,
it.
you know a nest when you see one.
It's a really big nest, yeah, I guess. It's made of like ice and rock. Well, I guess you want to get back to the island?
Yeah, we'd love
Yes, absolutely.
a tour. We're thinking of paying Oriel a visit.
Oh, sweet. Do you have like gifts, like gods? What are gods like?
Offerings.
Offerings, sacrifices.
I hear they like worship.
Yeah, they really like that.
Tribute.
Tribute. Yeah, you got something, right?
Yeah, we got tribute, yeah.
If we told you, it wouldn't be a surprise.
Mm.
Pro tip: is it made of ice of some description? Because she loves ice.
Oh, yes.
That's perfect. Okay. Well, you guys get water walking on, I guess,
Yep.
Yep.
and start making your way down the side of the boat. Is Otto and Dogcliff coming with you this time?
I mean, we didn't really bump into anything immediately that was a threat, so I don't feel like the invisibility thing is like... I think if we need to do some scouting, we can just turn invisible at the time and send some people out to scout.
Yeah, I think we still need to do the stealth mission, so maybe just still leave them on the boat.
Okay.
Okay, so the rest of you climb down, and you start making your way back over to the dock with the water walk. It's only a couple 100 feet, but in the roiling waves, it's sort of a little bit difficult to pick your way over. But you eventually get there and climb to the ice dock above about 20 feet. You then ascend the stairs 50 feet into the side of the cliff, and that mist that Wodun saw is still sort of rolling off the edge of the cliffs, even though it's sort of died away a little bit. And you get to the top and you see the path leads off into that mist. And then you see maybe about 300 feet ahead of you. You start walking down. And Supo is just chatting away to you guys, is flittering about as you guys are walking. And at a certain point, everyone roll a perception check.
Here I go. Oh, Jesus. And the other side.
I don't think I've rolled double digits this whole episode.
Me neither, actually.
21.
Same.
21.
6.
6.
Yeah, about 6.
So, as you're walking, you're sort of... Horacio and Wodun are both being distracted a bit by Supo. But Carnelian and Svieta, you notice in the distance, coming out of the mist as it sort of clears away, some figures. And it looks awfully similar to the figures you saw that shouldn't be here. They should be further down the path. They look like ice sculptures. It would appear that either some new ice sculptures have been made during the night, or have the same ones moved. The answer to that question will come next week on Reflex Save.
I don't like that.
I don't like that.
Maybe they're the tribute people? Oh, plus the gears and stuff.
Well, then I will send my familiar to.
Is it
circle.
called Cedric?
No.
I got another owl called Cedric here.
Maybe
Very
it was.
owlish name.
Maybe.
Cedric.
Wouldn't have thought I would have made it that blatant though.
I don't know.
Too owly for you?
Could have called it ravioli. I don't know.
That's an owl's name.
Spaghetti.
Rav. Spaghetti
What's the
owl. That's
what's
the runt of the litter of
what's
the
the-
clutch.